This is Abel Longoria with Pixtus.com. What I want to show you today is a method of shooting called Instax Window. What it is, it's a instant photograph taken with a Fuji 210 instant camera. Actually taking a photograph of a subject, letting it develop, holding it in front of you, then using a DSLR with the wide angle lens and lining everything up so that it matches perfectly. So it looks like this Instax frame is actually a window looking into the scene that you're looking into. What I'm doing is I'm trying to find a good spot. I found the building I want to photograph. I'm just trying to find a great angle, good composition, good color, something that's interesting. And I think this area right here is really gonna do that for me. I just kind of got to find the right angle. This shot right here really intrigues me, so I'm gonna try this method out. First off, I'm gonna kind of find a spot where I can stand and get a good angle. I think right about here is gonna be good. I have my Fuji Instax 210 loaded with film. I'm gonna compose a shot, see what I like. And this is completely your personal preference. So let's try something like this. Take the shot. And the important part is not to move from the spot in which you took the photo. Don't leave the spot in which you took the photograph from. If you do, you're gonna have a hard time trying to reline it back up. So I still have 1 foot set. I have my Canon 5D Mark II. Hello, that's a little too close. Set up with my fisheye lens, 15mm 2.8 fisheye lens. The reason I like to use this lens is because it really has a really wide field of view on this particular camera. And the other good thing about it is you really need a lens that has a really close minimum focus distance. And you'll see why, because I'm going to have this photograph really close to the front element of the lens. And you really need a lens that's going to be able to focus that close. And the fisheye does that really well. I actually have my lens stopped down to f/22, which is the smallest aperture that I can shoot with this particular lens. And the reason I do that is because I really want a lot in focus. I want a very deep depth of field. So the photos in focus as well as the backgrounds in focus. You can kind of see it's coming into color now. Maybe another minute or so just in case. What I like about today is it's not very windy. Last time I did this experiment or this method, it was very windy, so it was really hard to line up the photo with the actual... Hello, how are you? Doing fine? A little warm out here, isn't it?
Yeah, make sure I get some water, man.
Security, worried about our health. How's that? You know you're in Texas. All right, this photo is just about done. And typically what I'm gonna do is with this method, since my foot is still planted, I haven't moved, it should be fairly easy to line up this image with the background and frame it with my camera here. So what I will do is I will try that now. Slowly pull it back to where I think it's in line. And the trick here is when you're shooting, is you're gonna have to actually take several photos just to be certain you got everything lining up nice and neat. So test photo looks okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap off a few to make sure I get it right. Because you don't want to end up going back to the computer looking at all your images and figuring out, you know, the 10 shots that you did take are all not in alignment. That's not a good way to do things. So once I get it close, you'll hear the shutter actually snap a bunch off. See if I can get it here. It's better to have too many than not enough. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of moving the actual Fuji film frame a little bit at a time in different directions to try to make sure I get it lined up. Kind of finding some big leading lines to try to line the image up with. I have a big bright orange wall. I have some metal framework that I can try to match up. Kind of test some shots here. Some look okay. Some not too bad. So I'm gonna try some more just in case. Before I leave the spot especially. I don't wanna take a walk down the road and look at my images and say, man, I should have taken some more. Might as well do it while you're here. Go like this. So on this particular location, we shot anywhere from 30 to 40 frames. Hopefully, out of that number, we got at least one that's lined up correctly. All right, I found another spot here that I want to try this out on. It's got some graffiti, real bright colors, lots of leading lines. So I'm going to try to grab something that's a little interesting here, just a portion of it. Let's do something like this. I'm going to take the photo. I'm not going to leave the spot that I just shot this photo from, and let it develop. And as I mentioned, do not leave the spot once you've taken the photograph. That changes everything. So even if you're gonna look like an idiot and stand here in front of the wall like I am, so be it. See if we can get the camera to focus here. This video production is brought to you in part by Converse, Levi's, Hanes Chones, Canon, Think Tank, Jersey's t-shirts, Degree for men, hair gel from whoever, Fuji film, Fuji cameras, and Jägermeister and Red Bull for those long nights of editing that just won't end.